Hi, welcome to 4 Minutes of Film with me, Rhianna. 4 films to review this week: Unbroken with an interview from Jack O'Connell, Exodus, Gods and Kings with an interview from Joel Edgerton, Big Eyes and Annie. So let's start with Unbroken. Directed by Angelina Jolie, this is the true story of Louis Zamperini, who was an Olympic athlete and was then later captured by the Japanese during World War II and tortured in a prisoner of war camp.
You are enemies of Japan.
Jack O'Connell's performance is truly impressive. He doesn't have loads of dialogue, but the suffering that his character went through is really etched onto his face, and his body changes so much during the film. It's a really dedicated performance.
Look at me.
And this is what happened when I chatted to Jack.
This is coming out on Boxing Day, so are you going to drag your family down there, or they're going to be like, look, we've gone to the premiere, give it a rest now, Jack?
I think it's going to be the latter. I think on Boxing Day I'll be watching Home Alone too. I always find there's so much to do on Boxing Day, like all the boringness.
Eat the turkey,
tidy everything up, and play with me action man. So yeah, I don't know.
Euphemism?
If it is, it's probably best we don't indulge.
The scenes that really stood out for me were the ones where he was stranded in a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean. It went a little bit Life of Pi. I would have liked the Olympic scenes to have been explored a little bit more, and the torture was just relentless but fascinating. It's not an outstanding film, but it's a very good watch, so 4 stars for Unbroken. And next up, it's Big Eyes. This is another true story about an artist whose husband took credit for her big-eyed pictures for most of her early career.
I painted every single one of them. Every big eye. Me. And no one will ever know but you.
This stars Amy Adams, who is a very good actress but doesn't bring a lot of warmth to the role, and her husband is played by Christoph Waltz, who is so over the top and so hammy, and I never felt like they had any real chemistry or connection on screen as husband and wife. The story itself isn't that meaty, and it could have been told in half an hour, but they dragged it out for 2. Tim Burton directed. I was so disappointed. I was expecting something really special. So 2 stars for Big Eyes. And next up, it's Annie. It's another remake of the Broadway musical starring Jamie Foxx as the millionaire who, for political gain, takes in Annie, who lives in an awful foster home, and then realises slowly that she's thawing his heart.
It's a hard knock life.
Wait, what does hard knock life mean?
It means our life sucks.
Oh, then yeah.
It's a hard knock life.
Quvenzhané Wallis is Annie, who got an Oscar nomination for her role in Beasts of the Southern Wild, and she really holds her own amongst the other stars like Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx. But it just felt so childish and sickly and cliched, and even though the songs were produced by Jay-Z, I felt they were lacking any sort of punch. And I got a bit fed up of the film trying to tug at my heartstrings. When you know you're being manipulated, it just doesn't work. So 2 stars for Annie. And finally, it's Exodus, Gods and Kings. This is an epic retelling of Moses setting the 600,000 slaves free in Egypt, defying the pharaoh Ramses.
We should concentrate our strength in the center. You should concentrate yours on fighting. Leave the generalship to me.
This stars Christian Bale, who really does take his work very seriously, as he should, but I think if he'd played it a little bit more tongue-in-cheek, it would have helped add to the film, because it is very camp. Joel Edgerton, on the other hand, really got into the spirit of things, and this is what happened when I spoke to him.
Is it the kind of film when you're called up, you're like, hey, this would be great. I actually get to learn skills for free, like archery.
Yeah, it's kind of a scandal when you really think about it. It's, you get to live out your childhood fantasies on one hand. You get to go on those adventures every now and then in a movie where you're riding horses and you're fighting people on a battlefield and all that sort of stuff. And as you point out, someone gives you money for doing it as well.
It was great to see the portrayal of the 10 plagues. They did that so well, and I would have rather have seen that than a lot of the long speeches. When they had fun with the subject matter, that's when it really genuinely worked for me. Other times it just dragged when it all got a little bit too serious. So 3 stars for Exodus, Gods and Kings. Next week I'll be reviewing Birdman and also The Theory of Everything with an interview from Eddie Redmayne. So click here to subscribe and catch that then. And happy Christmas.
One.